It is time once again to join the Readathon Rebellion. Hello my loves, thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and I am using Mels Readathon to choose my TBR for the month and I'm super excited. This is chapter 2. You can take part at any point. I'm going to have Mel's TBR video linked below for you so you can check out all of the details. The Readathon is so well crafted. There is so much story building to this Readathon that I just think it is amazing, and you can play this at your own pace. I like to do a TBR, create one at the start of the month, but you can do it as you go along. There are multiple ways to play the game and I just think it's great. So again, check out the video. I will have everything linked below for you. For myself, I am on Team Eyes, same as last year, and I'm also going to be doing the mode where I roll a 6-sided dice to get around the board. And honestly, I think that's about it. I have so many books I want to get to. A few of them are set buddy read, but if I can't get them onto the TBR, I will chat about them at the end of the video. That's everything. You'll have to let me know, are you taking part in this readathon? If you're not, what books are you really excited to read for the month? But I think we should just get straight into roll number 1. Now I know I said at the end of the TBR video last month that I was going to have a dice tray set up. Yeah, I forgot. So no dice tray, but let's go. Roll number 1. Got a 4. I feel like that is actually a really good start. So 4 spaces, that takes us to 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, side quest 1. Side quest 1, straight off the bat, we have an alternate path out of the mountain. Got to work out how to do it. The order that I'm a part of, I see a key dropped by one of the guards in the scuffle of getting out of the mountain, but somehow it was slung and now hangs on a jutting rock high above. How are you going to reach it? Prompt: read a book that is at least the same height or taller than your last read. That's actually really easy for me because my last read, I finished it literally last night, is The Copper Promise by Jen Williams. I really enjoyed this. We're starting to do a buddy read of the entire trilogy over on Discord, so I do actually need to put book 2 onto the TBR for the month. I could just do book 2. It's the same height. I feel like that would be the smartest move, wouldn't it? Because I do need to read it. Like I'm definitely going to be reading the second book. I think it's The Iron Ghost. It doesn't have it in here. So it is. Book 2 in the Copper Cat trilogy is The Iron Ghost, and I am really excited. This is it's like a classic fantasy adventuring. Like, it's nothing amazing. It's not a new all-time favorite, but I did have a lot of fun with book 1. Number 2, I don't really know what to expect from it. What I thought was going to happen across the trilogy happened in one book. I am intrigued, but I am getting this one from my library, so I don't have a copy with me. I mean, yeah, smart move would just be to do this because it is the same height. You know what, yeah, we're going to be smart. I'm going to be smart for once, and we're going to go with The Iron Ghost by Jen Williams and get one of the books I need to read just straight onto the TBR. But that does mean we need to go to roll number 2. Honestly, I hope we continue with big numbers. 3 in the middle, can't complain about that one. Okay, 3 spaces takes us to roadblock 2, but we did pass objective 1. So that means we can either do objective 1 and roadblock 2 and combine the prompts into one book if we're able. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do 2 separate prompts because the objectives are the only 4 prompts you have to complete. Objective 1, we must travel the devouring woods in order to get back to the city safely. Prompt: let's get out of here, read a fast-paced book. Okay, that's pretty decent. And then roadblock 2, as we come out of the mountain, we notice a cave. What are we going to do? We can go through the cave, or we don't want to see what's in there, we're going to go around it. You know what? Real life me would 100% not go in the cave because I'm a scaredy cat, but for the rebellion, I'm going to go through the damn cave. So, prompt: there's no light in the cave, read a book with a dark cover. Okay, so we need to do a dark cover that's also fast-paced to be able to combine the 2. So I guess we're going to browse the shelves and see what we can find. Truly, this may be harder than what I thought because I don't really know what I've got left me to read on my shelves. Like, I made such good progress with my TBR in August, it was honestly kind of scary, so... Okay, let's just look. I have The Bone Orchard, which would work for a dark cover. Whether it's fast-paced or not, I don't think it's going to be because it's gothic, and I just have a feeling it's going to be a little bit slower. Crazy thinking, but Crescent City, House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas has a dark cover. Okay, technically this isn't fast paced, but I love it so much that I read it fast. Like, I only read this the first time when it came out and I inhaled it within 24 hours. It was slightly insane, and I really want to reread it before the next book comes out because I really don't remember much of this at all. I read it far too fast. This is a strong possibility, but I'm not gonna lie, I do want to go for some horror because I am doing a horror bingo reading vlog in the month of September. Based on the fact that I want to be reading more horror, I might go with Bone of My Bone by Joanna Van Veen. This, I don't know if it's going to be fast paced, but I could just split the prompts. So I may just go with this dark cover and then go with a different book for fast paced. I have decided I'm going to be smart and I'm going to go with Bone of My Bone by Joanna Van Veen. I'm so excited for this book. I love Joanna Van Veen. They are definitely one of my favourite authors. And this one is about nuns, and we've got a skull that we're looking for and all sorts of things. It just says on the front, one saint, one sinner, one skull. And I'm really excited, but I don't think this is fast paced. From some of the reviews that I've had, it does seem like it is a little bit drawn out in places, which I don't personally mind because I know I like Joanna Van Veen's writing. We're going to use this for the roadblock, and then for objective 1, I think I'm actually going to go with another book that I've been eyeing up, and that is Maggie's Grave by David Sodergran, because this is like a little novella. It's going to be fast paced because it's so short. I've read one other David Sodergran book and really enjoyed it. Again, for the horror bingo vlog that I want to do, I want to try and get as many horror books onto my TBR as possible so that we can get as many bingos as possible for that video, and this is one that would work with one of those prompts really well. Horror bingo, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's done by Sarah over at Wicked Reading, and September is the last month before we get a brand new board to start on October 1st, and I have not made much progress at all, so the majority of books that I want to be reading is ticking off as many of these prompts as possible. Will it happen? Honestly, I've got no idea, but at least that's 2 books added to the TBR that does work with this. Gonna see if we can get this many bingos. I am looking forward to doing that vlog, so hopefully you enjoy it, but that's roll number 2. Let's roll again. I feel we've started off really strong, so let's see if we can... Oh my god, I spoke too soon. I do this all the time. Got a 1. Oh my god. I have got to stop jinxing myself. It is getting ridiculous, but we move 1 space to info gathering 2. Okay, info gathering. There is a cave right in front of you. As we decide what we're going to do, we hear a noise and we got to figure out what is making the noise. So read a book off your own TBR. Okay, that's easy. I have got so many books on my TBR. Actually, no, that's not true anymore. It is kind of, I'm in the 60s, but that is so much less than what it used to be. And honestly, about half of that I can't even read yet because I've got to read the first books or I'm missing volumes of manga, and it's a whole situation. So I actually don't have much. I could use my Kindle TBR. Could I? Maybe. Let's hang on, let me read the rules. Yeah, it's just owned. And I do own the books on my Kindle. I don't use Kindle Unlimited. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to do that because my Kindle TBR is now bigger than my physical TBR, which is kind of crazy to say out loud. Again, sticking with that horror vibe. Ooh, I've got a few options. So we've got The Honeys. This is one that's been recommended to me loads, and I think I'm going to really like it. I think it's more of a YA weird horror, but this would work really well for a prompt. Also got Between Two Fires, which is more of a medieval horror. We've got Headlights by CJ Lead. This one just looks kind of creepy. I've heard mixed reviews about it though. And I haven't read CJ Lead's other book yet, which is Mayfly, I think it is. Or we have Molka by Monica Kim. I've really been wanting to read that. Do we just go with Molka by Monica Kim so I can stop telling you how much I want to read it? Because I'm pretty sure I have mentioned that book in every video almost with how much I want to read that book. I mentioned it in my autumn TBR. I mentioned it in the TBR before. Like, I'm going to do it just to give you and myself a break from constantly talking about this book. I loved The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. I thought it was a fantastic book, and I've been so excited for this one. Again, this is one that I've heard some mixed reviews on, but I love this UK cover. I think it is absolutely stunning. This was on a Kindle deal for 99p, so I decided to pick it up, give it a read, because if I love it, I'm gonna go out and buy that book because I think the cover is absolutely gorgeous. But I'm also hesitant at the same time because I have heard mixed reviews. I was just gonna do it because I love this cover. I don't know what it is about it, but I genuinely love it. But Molka by Monica Kim, this is a book that is about the situation that happened in Korea where there were all these like spy cameras being put into places like women's bathrooms and things like that, and it was this whole big thing that was going on. And I think we get two perspectives. We get one from this really gross guy and another one from the girl who has been victimized by these spy cameras. So I'm really intrigued. Again, I've heard loads of mixed reviews. I've got so many videos saved of people reviewing the book and going into detail that I can't wait to watch, but I haven't read the book yet, so I can't. I've been so excited for this one, and it does work for a prompt on Horror Bingo, so yeah, we're gonna do it. Now we're gonna roll again and hope I get something higher. I want a 3 or more. Those are the numbers I want to stick with. Guess we're gonna see. Roll number, are we at 4? I don't know. I wasn't even keeping count. Oh, yes. Okay, that is an amazing number. We got a 6. We love that. We finally get the highest number. Let's move 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I should have said here at objective 2, you have a choice. We can either follow a noise, a crash down, or we can follow the music. And honestly, I'm more interested in following the music. So where were we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I had already decided that was the route I was going down from when Mel first said about it. But okay, so we need to do objective 2 and side quest 3. So objective 2, we're going through the woods and there's a weird noise. You hear a crash and sing in which one are you drawn to. As I said in the announcement video, I was like, yes, I definitely want to do singing. And the singing one is match the vibe of your book to your current listen. So on Spotify, let me get it up for you. I am in love with Given, and I listen to this playlist so much. I genuinely love it, and I know the exact book I'm going to read for that one. I'm going to start my read of Given the manga. I watched the anime and fell in love with it. It made me cry. It's just beautiful. I listened to the playlist on repeat, and I have been so excited and nervous to read this because of how much I love the anime. I'm kind of scared. I know it's going to be emotional turmoil, but I think I'm going to love it. So yeah, we're going to finally add volume 1 to the TBR, and I'm so happy. Yes, because I'm finally reading it, but like I say, I'm also a little bit anxious because this really did destroy me. Now, I imagine volume 1 is going to be absolutely fine. It's going to be to the later volumes that are going to really get to me. The minute Mel said about that is what the prompt is for the music, and I was like, well, that's pretty much the only things I listen to really are anime music. So you've got Given, you've got Hammond's B-side, I listen to that. Like, anime music is just my thing, and I'm like, no matter what song I was currently listening to and things like that, it would then all work for reading Given, because this is a manga that I picked up because of how much I love the anime, and I'm liking anime music, so that's how I was making the connection. I knew this was going to be the pick, but we do need to see what the side quest, oh yeah, side quest 3. We found someone who knows the song and the lyrics, and they mention a strange potion that can be used to subdue the woodland folk. So the prompt is 2 heads are better than 1. Read a book written by 2 authors. Damn, I actually don't know. Oh shoot, I actually don't know. I don't think I've got any on my TBR that's written by 2 authors. Would it count if it was written and then translated? Could I do it that way? Because then you've got it written and then you've got the translator translating it. So like technically that is 2 people involved in creating the version that I'm going to be reading. I think that's all I'm going to be able to do. So let's go look at my Danmei shelves. I do have other translated books as well. I've got one that I recently added to my TBR. Do I have any translated horror? That would be good. I don't think so on my Kindle, or at least not that's showing just on the covers. Oh, wait. I've got a thriller that's translated. Holy Boy by Lee Hee-ju, translated by Jo-hun Lee. This one I just picked up randomly, just sounded kind of fun. Yosep is a K-pop idol with millions of adoring fans, but for 4 of them, a poster on the wall just won't cut it. They have a plan, a perfect foolproof plan to get their idol all to themselves. Kidnapping Yosep seemed like the ultimate act of love, but inside a secluded mansion plagued by paranoia and with their grip on reality slowly loosening, the women use increasingly disturbing strategies to keep Yosep in their possession. As their angel's halo slips and their perfect plan unravels, the women must fight not only to keep him, but to keep their secrets buried at all costs. It's more than a little unhinged, Holy Boy is an exhilarating descent into the dark side of devotion, and it's translated from Korean. I mean, that just sounds kind of cool. Like, I picked this one up randomly, it was 99 pence, and I was like, it just sounds great. Like, it sounds great. I do have 2 other books in mind, so let me go grab those. Okay, so sticking with the more, like, I want to go more horror leaning, although technically this is not a horror, but it is a thriller. We've got Silent Reading Volume 2. I really enjoyed Volume 1. I loved it so much. These are like thriller mysteries. We've got our detective main character that has different cases that they're solving, and then we have the love interest who kind of helps. He's almost like a Sherlockian character in how he's able to give advice to the police on how to catch their criminals. This one is meant to be really dark on the subject matter that it's dealing with, so this is a possibility. And then I have one other book that I recently got, Medea Sang Me a Corrido by Delilah de la Serrado. This one, I think it's a collection of short stories. I just went into my local bookshop and the bookseller there was just like, have you seen this book? Have you heard of it? I was like, no, but it sounds awesome. So I decided to pick it up. I don't really know which one to go for, to be honest. Medea Sang Me a Corrido. This one is a punk revival of Medea as a Mexican anti-angel of birth and death from the International Booker Prize nominated author of Reservoir Bitches. Now, I've not read Reservoir Bitches, but this one, it just sounds really good. And I do think it is short stories. Yes. So I feel like this would be fun to read across the month. But yeah, I've not heard anyone talking about this one. It is translated by Julia Sanchez and Heather, is that Cleary? The font is honestly a little bit hard. But yeah, it's translated from the Spanish and it just sounds really interesting. And then of course we have Silent Read. Now, I really love this, and honestly I do want to make sure I get at least one danmei onto my TBR each month because of how much I really enjoy them. So this would be really good. I just really loved the first book. I love danmei so much. It is my new obsession. Like, danmei and manga is my new obsession this year, and I just love it. So I do want to make sure I'm always reading at least 1 volume a month. And then of course we've got the more thriller leaning book, Holy Boy. I don't know, honestly this is a hard one. I think none of these really work with the horror bingo. Actually, I don't know, I feel like you can use thrillers for this, but I have been leaning more towards just doing straight horrors. I think based on my mood currently, because I want to make sure I get at least 1 danmei onto my TBR, I think I'm going to go with this one. But honestly, I'm going to leave this as more of a mood reading prompt. As long as I read 1 of the 3 books I've mentioned, then it will count for the prompt. For choosing one for the TBR right now, I'll go with Silent Reading, but I think there's a strong chance that if I got time, I would possibly try and read all of them this month. Otherwise, we're just going to mood read and see which one takes my fancy. Because that's another thing, like, I do love having a TBR, but I've also been mood reading so much more than I used to. So having the option of 3, I think is a better idea for this. But okay, we have got more rolling to do. Now, if I can get a 6, we finish. I don't think I'm going to get that lucky, so I think we've got at least 2 more rolls to do. Let's go find out. Give me a decent number. Okay, 3 is absolutely fine. All right, okay, 3 takes us very nicely to objective 3. We are almost at the end. So objective 3, where is my phone? Right in front of me. Found all the herbs needed to make the potion to subdue the woodland folk. So we need to combine all of the ingredients, which is read a genre blend. What books do I need left to read for the month? I've got Japanese Gothic, which I still haven't added to the TBR. This is the Discord book club pick for the month of September. So if you want to join in, feel free. But I think that is just a straight up horror book, so no real genre blending going on there. I don't know if there's anything else. I do have The Wall of Storms by Ken Liu, which is also a buddy read going on Discord for the Dandelion Dynasty series. We have 2 months to read this book, so if I don't get it into September's TBR, I don't really care that much because I can read this in October. Those are the only 2 books that I would like to add, but neither of those are genre blends, so that's not really gonna work. I do have, oh, was I gonna read it for horror bingo? See, that I wasn't actually gonna read it for horror bingo. I have Authority by Jeff Vandermeer, which is a horror sci-fi, and I have been meaning to carry on with the Southern Reach series for ages. I've been saying that since last year and I still haven't done it, but I know because I'm not reading this one, like, I don't have anything it's gonna fit on, or Could it work for Second Chance? Maybe, actually. I did have one prompt where I had no idea what I was going to put for it, which is Second Chance. That could work because technically I started this book, I just never finished it. Not because I wasn't enjoying it, but because originally I didn't have editions of this book. Instead, I was reading it on my phone, and I don't really like reading on my phone, so I put it down. Yeah, okay, we're gonna do this one because it will work for that prompt. That's amazing, that actually worked out really well. I'm pretty impressed with that. The Southern Reach series is a really weird horror sci-fi. So the first book, Annihilation, we are reading a journal entries of this scientist that went into this area called Area X. So this area appeared where everything inside this area has been transformed, and scientists have been sending different expeditions in to kind of figure out what is going on, except every group that goes in, something awful happens. Either they all die, either through killing each other or going through a mass suicide, or all sorts of different things. And so now we have the 10th, is it the 10th expedition of 4 women. One of them that we're following the perspective of is a biologist going in to find out what's going on. It is so weird and unusual, a little bit surreal. I really enjoyed it. I really do want to continue on with the second book. I am going to restart from where I stopped. In this one, we are following, do we know his name? Yes, John Rodriguez, aka Control. He is the Southern Reach's newly appointed director, so we're getting a view of this after the events of the first book, but from a different point, not going into the area, but seeing what is going on within the company, and it's still bloody weird. I enjoyed what I was reading, I just didn't like reading it on my phone, so okay, we're gonna add that one to the TBR. That was good. Actually, I'm pretty impressed that worked. Is this gonna be our last roll? We need a 3 or higher. Nope. Of course not. Why would it be our last roll? We got a 2. Okay, we're just gonna do the last 2 rolls together. Then we get a 3. Okay. I don't even know why I bothered questioning whether I was gonna be able to do it in 1 extra roll, because of course I wasn't. So we did roll a 2 first, so that means I've got info gathering 4 to do. And then we get to the end, so I have objective 4. So I have 2 more prompts to fulfill, and I can't even combine them because that is not how that worked. So, okay, the first prompt, info gathering 4. We have ravens that keep following me. Prompt, maybe they know best, do a poll pick. You know what? That works out great because I can do the Japanese Gothic by Kylie Baker, because our buddy reads over on Discord are all done by poll picks, so that works perfectly. Great, we're gonna go with that one. And then the last one that I need to do, honestly, that wasn't too bad. It's a book I need to read anyway, so I can't even complain, actually. Objective 4. We come upon a large branch, and the song lures me closer. Read a book with a gorgeous cover. Honestly, The Wall of Storms by Ken Liu, I do think has a gorgeous cover. The whole series, when it lines up together, the spines create this beautiful image, so that would work. Otherwise, do I have any horror books that I think have a gorgeous cover? I mean, The Honeys. It is a very pretty cover with all the flowers and everything on it. Could go with that one. The other ones, I don't know if I would say they're gorgeous. Bold? Yes. Gorgeous? Question mark. Another book recently that I picked up that I do think has a lovely cover is Pan by Michael Clune. I've not heard anyone talking about this one. It is a Greek mythology inspired book. We follow a strange and brilliant teenager who has their first panic attack, which sends him down a rabbit hole in this wildly critically acclaimed debut. Basically, he thinks the Greek god Pan is trapped inside him, which just sounds really unusual. It sounds like it's going to be a really weird book, and I do quite like that cover. I just think it's very striking. I don't know, I honestly, I don't know. Because there are loads of books that I really want to read this month. Thinking about it, I went off, had a little look around my shelves, and just honestly did a lot of wandering around of like, what do we want to add to this TBR? Because there are so many things I want to read. We did a good job of getting a lot of the ones I need to read onto the TBR. And then thinking about it, like I said, with Wall of Storms, that is a book that I can just read in October. So I may put that one to October. But also, like I said earlier in the video, I do really want to read House of Flame and Shadow. Like, this is one that I definitely want to read. I mean, it's a massive chunky book. This is just going to be my at-home book. I'm going to read it slowly. I'm probably not going to be picking this up until like the last week of the month, to be honest, and I doubt I'll even finish it in the month, but I do really want to read this one. There is so many theories and stuff going around online for the next A Court of Thorns and Roses book. I want to read this. I had planned to do a full reread of all of Sarah J. Maas' books before the next book came out, and that just didn't happen. I read the first 4 Throne of Glass books and then took such a long break. There's no way in hope in hell of me doing it before the end, so it's just not going to happen. And I was thinking about all of the books out of the ones, what do I remember the least? And honestly, it's this one. We're just going to reread it because the rest I know, the rest I have read multiple times and loved, and this I've only read the once. So I think I'm just going to go with this. It's really been calling to me. Like, okay, technically this is not the gorgeous cover that's calling to me, but it is one that I just really, really want to read. I may end up reading The Honeys for Horror Bingo anyway, so if I do, that also works for that prompt. So I think, again, this is just going to be another mood reading prompt for me. I really do enjoy mood reading. Like, I like having a couple set books so I know I have an idea, like I've got my video plans, I have my buddy reads, but then everything extra than that, I like to just mood read. Yeah, we're just going to give myself another mood reading square. It could end up being something like Wall of Storms. I might decide to start that early. It could be The Honeys if it works for the Horror Bingo and comes up, or it could be starting House of Flame and Shadow. I'm going to put this one in for now, like I did with the other, like with the Danmei, because that's what I'm in mood saying right now. But as long as I read one of the 3 books I've mentioned, I'm going to make it work for this prompt. So I guess we should just go through all of the books. It's really weird because I don't actually have a lot of books, but I do also have a lot of ebooks that I'm going to be reading, and obviously one from the library and stuff. So let's go through it. Okay, so honestly, can I remember all of the prompts for all of these? No, not really. I should have been making a list, but I did not. So I'm going to hold up the Copper Promise, but I am going with the Iron Ghost, continuing our buddy read of the Copper Cat series over on Discord. If you want to join in, feel free. We also have the David Sodergran Maggie's Grave. I definitely want to read that one. I'm really looking forward to it. I've heard nothing but good things about that book. David Sodergran does kind of like horrors that are a little bit grotesque, a little bit like shocking. I've only read the one book, which I absolutely loved. That was The Ha. And I really loved that book. I thought it was so well done. I'm really intrigued to read more by this author. So that's another one. Then we've got Bone of My Bone by Joanna Van Veen. I'm so excited for this book. I'm expecting to love this one. I'm expecting it to be at least a 4 stars. The other books that I've read by this author have been 5-star reads. I've loved them. So very, very excited for this one. We have my manga for the month. I'm probably going to pick up more manga. I love reading it, but the one that I would definitely be picking up is Given. And oh my gosh, I know I'm going to love this, and probably what's going to happen is I'm going to rewatch the anime as I read it. I only have volume 1. I didn't even say what this is about. So it is, as you can actually probably tell, it's a band. It starts off in school. We've got Matthew, who wants to learn guitar, and so he approaches Yunomiya, I can't pronounce his name very well, who decides to help him out. And it's this love story, but it's heartbreaking, and I loved it. I think it's great. So that's amazing. We also have Silent Reading. Again, this is one that is like a mood read option for me, either this or a couple of the other books that I mentioned, but for now I am leaning towards Silent Reading. This is so good. I can't wait to continue on and see next situation our characters are going to be investigating and dealing with, and having this very slow burn romance go on. I love it so much. Authority by Jeff Vandermeer, a sci-fi horror, which honestly very weird, but I really do want to continue on with this series. Add into this, we also have Molka by Monica Kim and Japanese Gothic by Kylie Baker, 2 authors that I read from last year, absolutely loved, and I'm very excited for both of these books. I've heard mixed review about both of these as well, but I really can't wait to read them, so very excited for those 2. And then the last prompt, which is going to be another mood reading one. It might be starting this chunker of a book, it might be one of the other books that I mentioned. I honestly don't really know, but we're going to put that one on there for now. So we've got these books plus 3 ebooks. But okay, right, well that is the TBR. It's a little bit ambitious, and honestly there are so many more books that I want to read that aren't even on this, that I think that is a hope and a dream, and it's never really going to happen. But I'm excited with this start. Hopefully I have a really good reader month. You have to let me know, what are you going to be reading in the month of September? Are you taking part in the Readathon Rebellion? How did your game go? Or are you doing it as you go throughout the month? Okay, I think that's everything for this video. I feel like, as always, these TBR videos always come across a little bit chaotic to me, or at least chaotic for me to film, but I hope you've enjoyed it. But yeah, I think that's everything. So I'm gonna leave you in peace. I do actually need to get ready for work, so thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, wait, I keep forgetting to do emojis and stuff. Oh my gosh, right, let's do an emoji. I have been talking so much about horror bingo that I think we're gonna have to go with a horror emoji. So let's go with a skull, if you've made it this far, and thank you. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribing, commenting, hyping if you've got any points to spare. It will really help the channel out, so thank you so much in advance. My social media links, and also everyone I've mentioned, so Mel and Sarah, and they'll all be linked below for you. Do go check them out. They are amazing people. I'm gonna leave you in peace, so I will see you in the very next video.